She stood in the center of the room, holding a leather folder in her hands, confidence written all over her face. The crowd of employees held their breath. No one could believe what had just happened. Linda Carter stared at her, eyes wide with horror, her face pale as if she had seen a ghost. Just yesterday, she had yelled at this woman, humiliated her, thinking she was a nobody. And today, she was her new boss. But what happened next turned everything upside down. Let's start from the beginning. Early morning in New York. The majestic glass towers of Hamilton Corp's office reflect the first rays of sunlight. In the building's lobby, filled with the scent of expensive coffee and marble polish, employees hurry to their offices, exchanging routine greetings. Linda Carter, a 38-year-old white woman with impeccably styled blonde hair, walks down the hallway in high heels. She wears an expensive black pantsuit that emphasizes her status. Linda is used to being in control, and her subordinates know. Arguing with her is pointless. She's on her way to a meeting, nervously checking her phone, when suddenly, "Ah!" she shrieks, slipping on the wet floor. Standing before her is a 45-year-old black woman with short black hair. She is dressed in a simple gray janitor's uniform, holding a mop. This is Mary Johnson. Her face is calm, but there's a flicker of tension in her eyes. "I'm sorry, miss. I didn't mean to—" Mary begins. But Linda is already fuming. She quickly adjusts her blazer, glaring at the woman with contempt. "Are you blind?" she shouts. "How dare you stand in my way? Do you even realize how valuable my time is?" Several employees stop in the hallway, watching the scene unfold, but no one intervenes. "I apologize, miss," Mary responds calmly, moving the mop aside. Linda scoffs, crosses her arms, and leans in, hissing, "Your job is to clean. That's the only reason you're here. Know your place." Mary lowers her eyes for a moment, her lips pressing into a thin line, but she says nothing. Instead, she simply continues her work as if nothing happened. Linda tugs at her blazer sleeve and walks away, having no idea that in just a few days she will meet this woman under completely different circumstances. Dusk settles over New York City. The bustling streets of Brooklyn shift into the rhythm of the evening. Car horns blare, pedestrians hurry home, and a street musician plays somewhere in the distance. Amid this chaos, inside an old brick building, lies a small apartment belonging to Mary Johnson. She steps inside wearily, closing the door behind her. A faint scent of lavender lingers in the air. It's her way of unwinding after a long day. The apartment is small but cozy. An old yet well-kept couch covered with a dark blue throw, a wooden table cluttered with books on business and economics, and shelves filled with notes and study materials. Hanging on the wall, directly across from her bed, is a black and white photograph of her mother, a woman with kind yet stern eyes. Mary drops her bag onto a chair and slowly sits on the bed. She looks down at her hands, dark skin, light calluses from years of labor. She's exhausted. She closes her eyes, trying to push away the humiliation she felt that morning. But Linda's words echo in her mind once again. "You're only here to clean up after people like me. Know your place." Mary's eyes snap open as she abruptly stands up. She walks over to the shelf and picks up one of her old notebooks. On the first page, written in neat handwriting, are the words, "My goal is to become a leader who respects people." She sits down at her laptop, turning on the desk lamp. The screen lights up with her thesis project. Modern Business Management Strategies. Despite working as a janitor, Mary has been studying economics and management for years. She attends evening courses, reads books, and analyzes businesses. Her dream is to one day build a company where every worker feels valued. "I deserve more," she whispers, clenching her fists. Suddenly, her phone vibrates. She slowly picks it up and sees a message from an unknown number. "Come to the office tomorrow at 10 a.m. Important discussion." Board of Directors. Mary squints, rereading the message multiple times. Her heartbeat quickens. The Board of Directors? Why do they want to see me? Questions swirl in her mind. She takes a deep breath, glances at her mother's photograph, and softly murmurs, "Mom, I think it's time." Early morning. New York awakens in the golden glow of sunlight reflecting off towering glass skyscrapers. Inside the Hamilton Corp office, tension fills the air. Employees are buzzing about the news that has already spread throughout the building. The company has been acquired by a major investor, and today, the new CEO will be announced. Linda Carter sits at her desk, tapping her nails anxiously against the wooden surface. A sense of unease creeps over her. The rumors about new leadership make her nervous. What if she gets fired? She's grown accustomed to her power and influence, and the thought of being demoted makes her press her lips together in frustration. "Does anyone know who the new CEO is?" asks her colleague Emma, casting a cautious glance at Linda. "No, but I hope it's someone from within the company and not some overconfident nobody." Linda scoffs, adjusting her blonde hair. Meanwhile, employees are already gathering in the conference hall. The large room hums with nervous chatter. Some flip through documents, others sip coffee in an attempt to calm their nerves. Suddenly, the doors swing open. A senior board member, a distinguished silver-haired man in an expensive suit, steps inside. He raises his hand, signaling for silence. "Good morning, colleagues. Today is a monumental day for Hamilton Corp. We are pleased to introduce your new Chief Executive Officer." He pauses, and at that moment, the doors open again. Mary Johnson strides into the room with confidence. She is dressed in an elegant dark blue business suit, her short black hair neatly styled, a leather folder in her hands. She carries herself with grace, her deep brown eyes radiating confidence and strength. The room falls silent. Linda, sitting in the front row, stares in shock. She recognizes her. This can't be," she whispers, her face draining of color. Mary meets her gaze and steps forward. "Good afternoon, colleagues." Her voice is calm and steady. "My name is Mary Johnson, and I am your new CEO." A hushed gasp ripples through the employees. Some exchange glances, unable to believe what they're seeing. The janitor. The CEO? Linda sits frozen, her hands clenching into fists. She opens her mouth, but no words come out. The woman she had humiliated now stands before her, higher than ever. A heavy silence fills the conference room. Employees stare in stunned disbelief at Mary Johnson, who stands before them, confidently holding a leather folder. Her presence radiates strength, composure, and certainty. Some faces show shock, others admiration. No one expected that the woman they were used to seeing in a janitor's uniform would now be their new CEO. Linda Carter sits frozen, pale, her fingers clenched into fists. She stares at Mary, unable to believe her eyes. The memory of their recent confrontation flashes through her mind. But now everything is different. The woman in front of her is no longer just a janitor. She is her boss. Mary calmly scans the room, her gaze lingering on Linda. There is no malice in her eyes, only confidence and determination. "I know my appointment comes as a surprise to many of you," she begins, her voice firm yet composed. "But I want you to understand. I am not here by accident. I am here to make this company better." She pauses, then adds, "And the first thing I want to say is this. Every employee deserves respect, regardless of their position." Mary turns to Linda, and the room tenses. "Ms. Carter," she looks directly at her, "you believed you could humiliate people just because they were beneath you. But today, I want to remind you, every person has value, no matter what job they do." Linda opens her mouth to defend herself, but the words stick in her throat. There will no longer be room for disrespect and arrogance in this company. Starting today, we are implementing new corporate values based on equality and respect, Mary continues. And yes, Ms. Carter, your contract has been terminated. You are fired for inappropriate behavior. Linda turns ghostly pale. Fear, humiliation, and the realization of her downfall flicker in her eyes. As hushed whispers spread among the employees, she stands up, gathers her belongings, and heads for the exit. As the door closes behind her, Mary lifts her head and looks confidently at her colleagues. Now, let's work together. Let's build a company where every person feels respected and valued. A murmur of approval ripples through the room. Some employees begin to clap. They understand that standing before them is a true leader, a woman who fought her way through adversity and won. Mary stands by the window of her new office on the top floor, gazing out at the vast city before her. She smiles. She did it. Behind her, a photograph of her mother rests on the desk. She picks it up, looking into the kind yet stern eyes, and whispers, "I did it, Mom. I changed my life." The camera slowly pulls back, revealing the silhouette of a woman who not only overcame the system but also defeated injustice. She is no longer just a janitor, she is a leader.